Let's talk about the 90% of jobs in the private sector, Jeff. We hear a lot about the stimulus. The government says 9 out of 10 jobs are going to be private jobs. They're not going to be government jobs. And quite frankly, I don't think everybody dreams of working for the government. No disrespect to Mr. Goolsbee. But if it's in construction, is it going to have to be a highly skilled job like engineering or a low-skilled job like digging ditches?
I think what you're going to see is a combination of both. I think the intellectual curiosity of chasing where the projects are is very important right now. You need to know that those projects are going to go federal to state to local. It's going to be a bridge. It's going to be a school. You need to be there at the right place at the right time. It's also about cross-training. We're seeing someone who's a plumber also picking up those electrician skills because from the bottom up, most construction companies have under 5 people. So everyone is going to need to row, not rock. And I'll be talking about that a lot in this program.
Row, not rock. It's a good little phrase. Jim, what about on retail, though? You heard John Harwood reporting we're going to see a lot of jobs created there, which may surprise people because everyone's spending less money because they're worried about a paycheck. But if we do get that creation in retail, what kind of jobs will they be?
Well, they really go across the board from sales and inventory control, finance, all the way up to management. It is surprising that that number of retail jobs to be created, but don't forget, retail is a huge industry, and it is still one that in sectors in different parts of the country, they are finding jobs.
Leisure and hospitality, it's not just housekeepers either, right? I mean, it's a wide variety. And actually, kind of a good thing about hospitality is there's at least something about it in every city. Well, right? You may not have to relocate as much.
Carl, leisure and hospitality would include companies like McDonald's, which is doing very well in this downturn. Some of the extended stay Americas, Wyndham, some of those companies that cater to a more budget-conscious audience are actually hiring right now. Leisure and hospitality happens to be an industry where, in general, people love what they do because they interact with people.
Saying McDonald's, and no disrespect to McDonald's, but flipping burgers has become a cliche for a market where you were dramatically underemployed. Is that the best thing we can say about this market?
No, I think there are examples within great companies like McDonald's and others where there are regional management positions, they're entry level, and it's just got to be, if that's what your strategy is, to get into a good company like that and work hard and perform, that's a step in the right direction.
Carl, to address that, I think that's an ego issue, and people need to accept the fact and say, you know what, the world is different than it was 6 months ago.
That means I have to go work in a fast food place?
It means I have to do what it takes. It means that we have to tighten the belt and do what it takes to do the right thing for ourselves and our families. Self-esteem is tied to employment. You sit there at home and you're thinking about how bad things are, you're not going to feel good about yourself. If you're employed doing something, anything, and earning a paycheck, you're going to start to feel better.
Shouldn't someone at least aim a little higher to begin with and then work your way down if you continue to get rejected?
Well, if the opportunity's there, that'd be great. But I think what we're facing is the reality of the situation is that the opportunities might not be up there. And I think what's seen now is a lot of people make the mistake of saying, that job is below me. I'm not going to stow for that. You need to step yourself back and say, you know what? If I have to start from the bottom and rebuild, that's okay to do.
And maybe it's just for now, right? I mean, it's not as if you're going to do this forever.
Of course,
you're
it's just for now. Yes.
I would just add that your job description isn't on your paycheck. And so if the first thing is you need to find a job, any job, then take that job and take that money, bring it into your family.
It's still green, right? The dollars are still green.
Or it's direct deposited now. You might not ever see the green, but it's money. I think the second thing you want to do is if you have a dream, if you have a goal, if you have a career in mind, then add another 40 hours to your effort in the week and don't give up until you get that job. We've had examples of people that work a day job they don't like, but they're running a business at night, and that's what they love. That's great. Go get the paycheck, but also pursue your dreams and your happiness.
Jim, if you had to have you seen clients do that complete reset where they place their ego in another state?
I have seen examples. At Spencer Stuart, we happen to work with more senior executives, but even at that level, CEOs who have sold or lost their jobs are focusing on division presidents or other levels. So that's, I think the points are very well served.
I just add, there's a phase 3 approach here. You really want a better job, better pay in what you do. If you can't get that, then maybe you want to stay in your industry. And if you can't get that, you just have to get any job, maybe an hourly job. Then you want to be still chasing that dream of that other job in phase 2 or phase 3.
A lot more info on the jobs that are out there.
Yeah, absolutely. In the meantime, for more jobs and companies hiring in construction, retail, leisure, hospitality, as well as the cities and states where those jobs are, go to jobs.cnbc.com.
And aside from the stimulus, which creates private sector jobs, government is a big part of it. And I know Carl was talking about this a little bit, and there's been a lot of stories. I'm sure you've read them, everyone's seen it, that, like it or not, this may be another era of big government. So you may see hiring everywhere, right? Whether it's security hiring or whether it's working for the IRS, whatever it might be.
Well, people are still thinking cubicles and Washington, D.C., and 90% of the jobs are going to be outside of that kind of realm.
State government we're talking about, right?
That's right. Well, I think that the big thing I look at here is it's difficult to get these jobs, but there's more than 50,000 jobs. There have been openings for a decade that haven't been filled. This is a perfect time where we need jobs and the government needs talent. And so I see this timing coming together very nicely. The stimulus is on top of this. So I see lots of jobs in government, all different kinds of jobs. You expect there to be jobs where you're going to be sitting at a desk, but you're going to see engineering jobs. You're going to see security jobs. I just saw a job for an auto mechanic to work for the FBI. Cool jobs are out there. Be creative.
Yeah. I read a survey recently where it said that they polled government workers, and they said 87% of people that work for the government said they had high levels of job satisfaction. And I was surprised by that. And this was a January survey that was taken, compared to, in 2007, half of workers in private sectors expressed dissatisfaction with their job. So if you go to the government sector, be prepared to actually be a little happier with your job, which I think is a nice start.
That's a really great point. We've got a lot more government jobs also. So if you want more on that, jobs.cnbc.com. And Carl, last time I checked, I think they are hiring at Treasury.
At Treasury?
Yep.
And the FBI, you get to carry a gun, perhaps? That's kind of cool.